All right, it's time for a therapist to do a deep dive into this shooting in Georgia at the high school, Appalachia High School. And there is so much coming out now that needs to be seen. And as a mental health professional, I'm telling you, this is the place to look at where trauma has an impact, okay? So we're going to go through different things, but this is a video I have not seen but about 10 seconds of. I stopped it and I'm like, I want to watch this whole thing when I have a focused set of time. And this is apparently a girl who was at the school and saw the shooter when it happened and is about to tell her story. This is something we need for the future to learn. As a therapist, like I said, we need more counselors in school, not guidance professionals that just help with grades in college. Without further ado. Oh, this is big. All right, this is it. My story of the Appalachia High School shooting. Let's get it.
Hey y'all, so I just wanted to come on here and literally talk about what happened today. It was a normal day, Wednesday, September 4th, at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia, and I was in second period and I needed to go to the bathroom. So I signed out like anyone else would do, took the bathroom pass, went to the bathroom, and I shut the bathroom stall door and I started hearing banging. And I was like, let me see if that's my friend, like banging, messing with me. And I didn't see her, so I walked out of the bathroom. And,
Can you imagine? Just regular high school student, right? Appalachia High School seems like a semi-small town, suburb, nothing major, obviously not an inner city type place where it's just thousands and thousands of people. Just go to the bathroom, just like normal. Here's banging. Because when you're in the bathroom and in a stall, it can be distorted a lot of times. You hear banging, which was actually the gunfire, probably. And she's wondering, like, are people banging on the door to mess with me? So I guess she says, all right, let me get out of the stall and go out and see what's going on, see if it's a friend of mine. And you're just walking like it's any other day.
I didn't see anything. And then I turned to my left and I see this guy holding a gun. And he points it directly towards me and starts running to me.
Oh my goodness.
I literally froze. I had no idea what to do.
Oh, and I'm guessing from what she said, she didn't know the guy. It seemed like she just saw this guy, and maybe it was just like all of a sudden this guy. You turn and you see a gun. You don't match that up with high school, right? This is a trauma response here. You don't figure you're going to see that. So all of a sudden she sees this guy with a gun and him running towards her like he's about ready to take her out. So she goes into, we talk about trauma, right? Fight, flight, or freeze responses. She goes into freeze. The freeze mode is deer in the headlights. I don't know what to do right now. I'm in such shock. The fight response is obviously go after the person. The flight response is run away and hide in the bathroom. But the freeze response is literally happens to a lot of people where I'm frozen. I can't move. I'm incapacitated here because I'm in shock registering all of this. Serious trauma here. I honestly, looking at her, I'm a little shocked she's saying the story like she is. And I think it's just because it's so fresh that she's probably still in shock. And she's just telling the story. I don't know if she's going to feel the emotion later in the video, but she's telling it like it's matter of fact. This is what happened. No affect. There's no affect. That is not possible with what just happened. So what I'm telling you is when you get them, they come into my office in for therapy, then it takes time to settle everything down and to let you feel the experience, because you know what? Her body doesn't want to go back and feel that experience. So now one of her outlets, it's kind of like people journaling, people talking to people screaming, people crying. I'm also making a vlog, videoing the experience. It's her way of doing it. And kudos to her to be able to get this out. If she needs to be able to speak it out, laugh it out, speak it out, scream it out, cry it out, write it out, draw it out, sing it out, talk, whatever you need to do, get this stuff out, because the sooner you get help, the better. EMDR is what I would love for this young lady to explore for treatment. Eye movement desensitization reprocessing, because it is the very thing that's going to help your brain desensitize to the trauma so that you can go back through it and not have the impacts. Imagine for her going back to the school and going into that bathroom again and going into that stall again. What's the brain going to recall?
Like, at all. I see the cops running towards me. The cop slams me into the bathroom, tells me to get in stall and do not open that door no matter what.
Wow, what a hero. I don't know if there were a bunch of cops there at this point. From what I heard, there was one officer there that was kind of on the campus. And I don't know if this was that one. Kudos to him. That's just, I mean, I cannot tell you, talk about risking life. Going and pushing her back in the bathroom. Do not get out of this bathroom, because he's in protection mode and he's on the attack. And obviously the shooter's got to be right there, right? And she's still in shock. Like, I don't know, I'm just following orders at this point. I didn't even expect to see an officer. And all of a sudden, oh, can you believe it?
And do not open that door no matter what. I get in the stall and I text my mom and I tell her I love her so much.
Oh.
And there's an active shooter. She calls me. I tell her, I said, I can't talk. I need you to come to school and wait for me.
That's really good. I was talking about phones yesterday, and I didn't want people to misinterpret me about, I think it's so valuable for these students to have phones, to be able to contact people on the outside and let them know how they feel and let them know what's happening, to alert them. I think that's super valuable. I don't think it's super important, like the kids in the classroom, to be just messaging and texting their friends back and forth over and over when there is something active going on, like she did. I can't talk right now. I've got a situation, but come to the school. And you've got to be conscious, aware, and ready to act at any point, because she's in a cornered position and she's trusting that officer to protect her in that spot. And she doesn't know where to go at this point. You can't leave the bathroom. So proud of this young lady.
I need you to come to school and wait for me. They're not releasing anything. I don't know what's going on. All I hear is gunshots. And she texted me back and she said, "Are you serious, Abby? I'm on the way right now." And I said, "Yes, I'm being so serious." I get into the stall and I wait not even 10 seconds and I hear shots firing from every direction.
Wow.
It's literally echoing in the school. I hear people running down the hallway. I hear screams. I hear "help me." And I'm just like, what is
helpless.
all
Danger.
I see in my mind is that gun being literally aimed at me and him running towards me. So I wait in the bathroom for 20 minutes, not even knowing nothing. All I hear is gunshots. And then the cops finally come into the bathroom and they're like, started banging on the doors. "You need to get out right."
So at this point, obviously there's a lot more officers on site and they're going door to door, I guess, to be able to evacuate and clear out different rooms. But can you imagine what goes through her mind mentally? The cognitions, it's not even the feelings of being overwhelmed and being scared. It's the cognitions, the thoughts in the brain at that point. I'm going to die. I'm not safe. I'm in danger. I'm trapped. Like beliefs that are in your brain. That's what happens from memory, from experiences. Core beliefs get planted in our brain. And many times those negative core beliefs have us in a state of, this is what reality is for me. And she's got to do everything she can to keep her wits about her, stay in her cortex, stay at the front of her brain and say, okay, following direction. I'm staying as safe as I can right now, and I'm just going to wait. But she's hearing screams. She's hearing "help me." She's hearing gunfire. She's hearing people running around, and she can't do anything about it. This is the part of mental health where you can't just get through this scenario and all of a sudden everything's fine. Because when she hears a scream like that in the future, when she hears a bang, some loud bang, a car backfires, when she hears people running and a stampede type thing of people running through halls, but running in any other place, a restaurant, a sporting event, she is going to be triggered back to this moment, recalling where she was in a traumatic state. That's what our brain does, and that's what trauma does to the brain. And that's why I said EMDR is so valuable, because it pairs bilateral stimulation of the brain with the traumatic experience to desensitize things so the brain doesn't have as big of impact. So when you go back and you recall the event, the brain actually doesn't hold on to it as sharply. The reason we have PTSD and we have triggers from trauma that get us stuck is because we never resolved the trauma. We never got the brain desensitized, and it feels like we are right back there in the very same moment, and we're trying to heal that in therapy.
And then they're like, started banging on the doors. "You need to get out right now." And I get out, I put my hands up, and they literally tell me to run to this officer. And and all I can see whenever I get out of that bathroom is blood everywhere and powder. The powder's from the gun.
How's she holding it together?
It's everywhere. So I finally make it to the library, and there's a group of kids in there literally crying and asking for help, and there's no service in the school at all anyways, and everyone was texting their parents, texting everyone they knew, so there was literally no service, and I couldn't even contact my mom. We went in the library, and we're in a room that's locked, and about 2 or 3 minutes later, I see a kid getting I see a kid getting literally pulled on a stretcher, and the kid is blue and purple, dripping in blood. And
do you hear the detail? Like her, and she's telling this, so matter of fact, I can hear the emotion in her voice. I can see that it's emotional for her to tell this story, but it doesn't match the actual story of how intense and just dire this situation. And she sees somebody on a stretcher that is blue and purple and bleeding. Like that descriptive, like I see it. And so that gets embedded into the brain as well. And God bless this young lady. Like, it's therapeutic for her to be able to say this. She has got to see somebody. She's got to talk to somebody. And believe me, the talking is only part of therapy. The talking doesn't just automatically heal things. Sometimes the talking can actually make it worse over time because it'll spiral you down a drain, and all you're doing is talking about the things that are so traumatic. That's why I think EMDR is so valuable. And that's why I think you got to get to the nervous system and the brain and settle things down. Because if all we do is talk about it, it's as if we relive it a lot of times over and over, and we don't get any recovery from it. We don't get any healing. So it's healthy to talk about it to a point, but getting help outside of family, friends, and the people that are close to her is so valuable because everybody's so personally and emotionally tied to it. But I can't imagine what it's like to see somebody just a few minutes ago, you're going to the bathroom in class, no problem, and now all of a sudden there's blood and smoke everywhere.
Blue and purple, dripping in blood, and I see them put the tarp over them.
Oh.
All I really see is dust going everywhere and screams. So finally we were in the library, and they started escorting all of us out. We had to put our hands up and keep our head up. They told us not to look around. And I looked on this one hallway, and there was blood all over the wall with a handprint. And I literally did not know what to do. They did not let us see our parents for probably about 35-40 minutes. I call my mom. I rush to her. I'm literally hugging her through the fence. I'm literally in tears.
Yeah.
And I just physically cannot believe that what happened today happened.
Yeah.
All I
Shock.
can say is we've lost 4 of the kindest people, and I really hope they rest easy. There's 4 people dead, 2 of them being teachers, and the other 2 being students, and then there's 31 injured.
31.
From either getting shot,
I had no idea.
panic attacks. I heard there was a heart attack.
Just hearing all kinds of things. You know what's such a challenge in these situations is it's almost like you feel like it's healing to just find out information and talk to more people and rehash the story and find out more. And I heard there was this, and then I heard this happen. Somebody told me this happened. Like I said, to a point that can be really healing and helpful. It can be hard though after a while because all you're doing is reliving the event over and over again. And that's why I said therapy is so valuable, because it's an outside person outside your life that has an experience that can help you walk through it in a healthy way. Because sometimes it gets to be too much to talk about this over and over and over and over again. And your brain is literally reliving the event over again. And there's no healing taking place. So there is healing to a point in talking about it and sharing and getting the details out. But when you start finding out new things and you start hearing new things, and I think maybe this happened, maybe that happened, and this person and that person, that eventually it gets to be so overwhelming, it can stop healing.
Heat damage. There's just so much. All I can say is y'all literally hug your family. You will never know when you'll ever see them again. Because I thought today that I was going to die.
That's
I
it.
literally told
It's
my
a core
mom,
belief.
I said, I love you so much. If anything happens, just know I love you. When I tell you, I got out of that school, and when I saw my mom, bro, I never want to come back.
Yeah.
But I just want to come on here and tell y'all my story and what I know, and it's just a lot. But
What a story. What a sweet person, first of all, the way she told the story and how much she cares and how much she just is devastated by what happened, obviously, today or yesterday. And how she got on to tell this story, I don't know, honestly. I think it was therapeutic for her. I think she needed to do that. I think people need to hear this for a big reason. That's to see how real this is and how much this impacts everybody's life. She doesn't want to go back to that school again. She hugged her mom and didn't want to let go. Because the cognition, like I said, that gets planted in the brain from an experience like this is I'm going to die. So she holds on to that belief. And a lot of times going back into a school like that, that's the very thing that she's going to be believing. Not feeling, this is thinking. Thinking means belief. Believing this is going to happen again. So why would I want to go back to that place? That kind of thing. There is treatment for it. There is help for that, to be able to desensitize the brain, just like we've done with people who have gone to war overseas and have seen people die and feel like the same thing's going to happen to them over and over again. There is a way to do treatment. I want people to know that. That's why I'm doing these videos. As a mental health professional, it's not just about sitting and talking about it. You can sit and talk to her all day long about this, but I'm telling you, there's going to come a point where the talking is going to be non-helpful. The talking is going to be harmful for her because it's going to be circling the drain, and I'm going to be feeling more and more anxious and more upset. And so you want to get some treatment that allows her body, her brain, and her nervous system to settle from this. Please leave me your comments. Let me know what you think about this. If there are any other videos out there about this, would love to see them as a mental health professional. I think it's super important for all of us to pay attention to this. And then there's a whole other aspect of trying to keep this from happening in the future and getting some mental health care into schools. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.